Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Wakakwadash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone of all well. And shalom to all Yakim teaching this word around the globe with faith and truth and sincerity. I'm Kyler from the GMS Thunder Forecasters camp, back with another lesson to help edify the Lord's elect. As always, I start by saying we are the real Hebrew Israelites. The real Israelites, these are called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, and West Africans predominantly. However, you are going to find Israelites that do look like the other nations, because we as a people have been scattered amongst all nations throughout our various captivities. But if your seed line by your forefathers goes back to the man in the Bible that was named Israel, then you too are an Israelite, no matter what you may look like. Because the book of Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18 states that your nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers. And once again, I'd like to give clarification on the names that we give reverence unto. First of all, we give reverence unto the name Yahweh, which is the one true name of the God of the Bible. His name is Yahweh, which means he is or he exists. And his son's name is Yahweh Shai, which is the one that the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His name is Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew. His name means he saves or he delivers. So, while I was traveling home from camp, I saw a little spiritual sign on the train as I was, going about my journey. I saw this advert on the train. It's by moneyfarm.com. That's not important, but actually that's kind of spiritual in a sense, because we're not supposed to lay up our treasures here on earth where moth and rust stuff corrupt, but rather lay up your treasures in heaven where thieves do not break through and steal, and moth and rust stuff not corrupt. But the point of this is that I saw this little caption. It says, stay on course in any waters. And when I saw that, it made me think of the scripture where the Apostle Peter saw Yahushua walking on the water, and he went out to meet the Lord on the water, and he began to sink. So I'm going to bring that out now. Bear with me. There's the scriptures. And sometimes it's nice when you see things in it and it prompts you to remember scriptures in your mind. That kind of shows that your mind's on the right track, in the sense that, rather than thinking about some folly or foolishness, you see little things in your everyday walk, and it prompts you to meditate on precepts and scriptures. That's kind of the mindset you want to be in. So let me bring this out. This is Matthew chapter 14, verse 23. Now let me say from 22. Matthew 14 from 22. And straightway Yahushua constrained his disciples to get into a ship and to go before him unto the other side, while he went sent the multitudes away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a high mountain apart to pray. See, because sometimes the Lord would take time out by himself to go and pray and to withdraw, because even in your everyday life, it's not good to be around people too much, man. Especially people who are not in the spirit or in this truth, because what they can end up doing is diminishing your spirit. I'll use this example, for example. Some brothers have women in this truth. It's not going off to have a woman in this truth. But the Apostle Paul said, even those that have wives, be as though they had none. And the reason why I'm bringing it out is because me personally, in my own experience of life, I've come to realize that for the most part, most women are not spiritual. And oftentimes when you spend too much time around a woman, you end up becoming more worldly. Like, they're going to drag you into the bullshit of everyday life. They're going to bring, let's say you're on a spiritual level, they're going to bring your level down to their level. What did King Solomon say? And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is all snares and nets, and her hands are as bands. That's basically what I mean, in the sense that if you spend too much time around a woman, they're going to get you out of the spirit of meditating on the things of the Lord, and rather to meditate on the things of them. So yeah, as I say, it's not going off to have a woman, but all things need to be done decently and in order. And you can't be too focused or fixated on the things of this world, because we're supposed to be meditating on the kingdom, the world to come. So in my own experience, I've found that it's just sometimes you need to withdraw. Sometimes you need to take that time out to be alone and to meditate on the things of the Most High, the kingdom of heaven, the scriptures, the precepts. You do need that time. So, Yahushua would often take that time away from his disciples and away from the multitudes to just go and pray. Yeah. So let's read this again in Matthew 14:22. And straightway Yahushua constrained his disciples to get into a ship and to go before him unto the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with the waves, for the wind was contrary. And in the fourth watch of the night, Yahushua went unto them walking on the sea. It's a miracle right there. So the Lord was walking on the water. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, It is a spirit. And they cried out for fear. Now you got to imagine, man, that would be a terrifying sight. You think it was some kind of like ghost or spectre or apparition moving on the water, and really it was the Lord, Lord Yahushua. And then his disciples saw him walking on the sea, and they were troubled, saying, It is a spirit, and they cried out for fear. But straightway Yahushua spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. And Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me to come unto thee on the water. And he said, Come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Yahushua. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me. And immediately Yahushua stretched forth his hand and caught him, and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? And when they were coming to the ship, the wind ceased. And then they that were in the ship came and worshipped him, saying, Of a truth, thou art the Son of the Most High. So that was a great miracle that the disciples saw. So what prompted me to think about this advert that I saw on the train? Stay on course in any waters. Seeing, what did Yahushua say to Peter? When Peter saw the wind boisterous, he began to sink, because he took his eyes off the Lord. And that's another thing that brings you back full circle to what I was saying before. In his truth, you need to be focused on Yahushua. Keep your eye focused on him, because he is going to be our deliverer, our redeemer, and our salvation, set up by Yahweh. Yahushua is going to be the right hand that's going to draw us back unto the Lord. So you need to keep your mind focused on Yahushua and meditating on the law, statutes, and commandments daily, and on the precepts. Keep your mind keep your eye on Yahushua, and your eye is not going to be focused on things that are going to have you wavering, questioning your faith, doubting and sinking, like the Apostle Peter, who was the disciple at the time, but later became the Apostle Peter. So, it's good to meditate on these things, and, in your everyday walk, always be mindful of, little signs, little reminders that you may see in your day-to-day that can trigger, you to think about and meditate in laws, statutes, commandments, precepts, scriptures, all those things. So this is a blessed thing when I find this in my personal walk, when I see something and it immediately makes you think of, oh, that's just like that scripture. You know what I'm saying? So, just a little quick spiritual hit, short and to the point. But, we need to keep our minds focused on Yahushua and be mindful of distractions in this truth. No, you're going to have distractions, because we're in this world. Everything's set up to distract us from the Lord. But at the end of the day, don't wander too far off course. Stay on course in any waters. Stay fixated on the Lord. Gonna get one more precept. just to give edification to what I was saying before. It's Ecclesiastes 8 chapter, and is it verse 26? No, not 8:26. Somewhere in Ecclesiastes the 8th chapter, I think. No, it's got to be the 7th chapter, 7:26 maybe. Yeah, here we go. Ecclesiastes 7:26. And I find more bitter than death the woman. See, one of the major distractions for a man in his truth is the woman. And I find more bitter than death the woman, whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. You know? So that's one major distraction. There's many others. But I'm just mentioning that because it came to mind. So, yeah, with that, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakadash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of the great Muslim that rule well. Sincere shalom to all of you Akim that are teaching this word around the globe with faith and truth and sincerity. And until the next lesson I do, Lord willing, I'll catch you on the next one. So shalom for now.